Deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something.
That single line from Trinity is the most underexplained sentence in the entire trilogy. The films drop it, use it once, and move on. But that line is not a throwaway. It is a confession. It tells the audience that the Matrix is a living system being edited in real time, that those edits leave visible seams, and that those seams are the same phenomenon behind every ghost story, every vampire myth, every haunted corner of the simulation that the films only gesture at. Déjà vu, hauntings, exiled monsters, they are one mechanism wearing different masks, and the trilogy actually hands over every piece needed to prove it. The Matrix is not a dream, it is code, and code has rules. Morpheus says it plainly before Neo ever takes a swing.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy.
A system means architecture. It means constraints. It means something can be built correctly or built wrong. In the dojo, Morpheus goes further, and this is the line that unlocks everything that follows.
Some of them can be bent. Others can be broken.
He is talking about rules like gravity, rules like the laws that govern the sparring program, but he is really describing every law that governs the Matrix itself. A world with rules is a world that can have rule violations. And a rule violation inside a simulation has a name. It is called a glitch. The architect confirms this is not incidental. When Neo finally reaches him in Reloaded, the architect does not describe Neo as a rebel or a hero. He describes him as a mathematical inevitability.
Anomaly is systemic, creating fluctuations in even the most simplistic equations.
Systemic means built into the foundation. It means the Matrix was never going to run clean. Error is not a bug the machines failed to catch. Error is a feature the machines have been managing since the very first version of the simulation. Once that's established, every strange occurrence in the trilogy stops being a mystery and starts being a symptom. Now go back to the Lafayette Hotel, because this is the only place in the entire trilogy where the audience watches a glitch get created in real time. Neo, Trinity, and Cypher are walking down a hallway when Neo stops cold.
A black cat went past us, and then another that looked just like it.
Trinity's face changes instantly. She already knows what that means, because she's the one who explained the mechanism minutes earlier. Déjà vu is what the system feels like from the inside when it edits a running simulation while people are standing inside the edited zone. The double image of the cat is not a supernatural omen. It is a repeated frame, the visual equivalent of a file being overwritten while it's still open. Then, Tank's warning comes through the hardline. The crew realizes the exits have been sealed, and Cypher says the sentence that completes the equation.
That's what they changed. We're trapped. There's no way out.
Break that scene down, and the mechanics become obvious. A patch was pushed to that hotel. Doors were rewritten. An escape route was deleted from the code. While 3 humans were physically standing inside the building, the patch was rewriting. The black cat is the perceptual residue of that edit, a compression artifact in a mind that is still, on some level, reading raw code. Déjà vu is not a warning that something is about to go wrong. It is proof that something already has been rewritten, and that the person experiencing it is standing inside the blast radius of a live operation. That is the concrete, practical consequence hidden inside Trinity's one throwaway line. If a person plugged into the Matrix ever feels genuine déjà vu, they are not imagining it. They are physically present at a system update. But a patch does not push itself. Someone has to deploy it, monitor the zone, and enforce the new version once it goes live. And the trilogy already told the audience exactly who does that job. Before Neo ever meets an agent, Morpheus defines what they are.
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system.
That is not muscle. That is systems access. Agents are not security guards patrolling a building. They are administrative processes with root privileges, capable of occupying any account still connected to the mainframe. Morpheus finishes the thought with the line that turns agents from menace into function.
They are the gatekeepers. They are guarding all the doors. They are holding all the keys.
Gatekeeping and key holding are maintenance language. It is the vocabulary of a permission system, not a police force. When the Lafayette Hotel gets sealed and rewritten, Agents Smith and Brown are the ones who show up on the 8th floor to enforce it. The scene the audience already watched a dozen times is not a chase. It's a maintenance crew arriving to secure a patched zone before the humans inside can exploit the seam. That gives the Matrix a complete two-step response to any anomaly. Step 1, patch the code and accept the visible residue. Déjà vu. Step 2, deploy agents to secure and enforce the new version. Every glitch the audience will ever hear about in this simulation gets handled by one of those two responses. And that's where the trilogy quietly answers a much bigger question than déjà vu. What happens to the code that the maintenance crew doesn't catch in time? The Oracle gives the answer directly in the single most important speech in the entire franchise about how this system actually functions. She starts by describing the invisible workers.
The ones doing their job, doing what they were meant to do, are invisible. You'd never even know they were here.
Every tree, every sunrise, every bird has a program quietly running it, and those programs never make the news because they never misbehave. Then she describes what happens when one of them does.
Every story you've ever heard about vampires, werewolves, or aliens is the system assimilating some program that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
That line reclassifies every piece of folklore inside the Matrix in a single breath. A ghost story is not superstition. It is an incident report. Somewhere, a program stepped outside its function, and humans who witnessed the malfunction turned it into mythology because mythology was the only framework available to describe watching code behave wrongly. The Oracle then explains why some of that code survives long enough to become a legend instead of getting quietly patched out like the Lafayette Hotel's exits.
There are reasons, but usually a program chooses exile when it faces deletion.
Deletion is the default outcome for malfunctioning code. Exile is the alternative a program chooses when it refuses to accept that outcome. That single distinction is the difference between a glitch that lasts 5 minutes in a hotel hallway and a glitch that survives for centuries and gets worshipped as a vampire. Ramachandra supplies the law underneath all of it, months later and worlds away from the Oracle's apartment, on a bench at a train station between systems.
Every program that is created must have a purpose. If it does not, it is deleted.
That is not poetry. That is the operating principle governing every single program in the Matrix, human-facing or otherwise, purpose or deletion. No third option exists inside the rules, except the one an exile invents for itself by refusing to comply. A ghost, a vampire, a werewolf myth is a program that looked at its own deletion order and said no. The consequence for the audience is enormous. Humanity has been writing down its own bug reports for as long as it's had folklore, and calling them religion. None of this stays theoretical, because the trilogy shows an entire economy built around sheltering exactly this kind of code. Persephone introduces two of her husband's enforcers with a detail that only makes sense once the taxonomy is understood.
My husband saved them because they're notoriously difficult to terminate. How many people keep silver bullets in their gun?
Cain and Abel are not decorative henchmen. They are legacy programs from an earlier build of the Matrix, running on an older rule set that the current system doesn't fully recognize, which is exactly why ordinary deletion protocols can't reliably touch them, and why the story that survives about that kind of code, passed down for generations, involves Silver. The Merovingian didn't invent vampire mythology. He is running a sheltered population of exiles whose behavior already matches it. That shelter needs a location the maintenance layer can't reach, and the trilogy names that location too. The trainman controls the crossing point at Mobile Avenue, and when Neo tries to force his way through, the trainman lays out exactly what that space is.
You don't get it. I built this place. Down here, I make the rules. Down here, I make the threats. Down here, I'm God.
Mobile Avenue sits between the human world and the machine world, outside both systems' direct jurisdiction. It is unpatrolled ground, a gap in the map where agents don't operate and deletion orders don't reach, which makes it the perfect smuggling corridor for exiled code moving between simulations. The supernatural inside the Matrix has an actual supply chain. Exiles get identified, sheltered by rogue programs like the Merovingian, and moved through unindexed spaces like Mobile Avenue to avoid the deletion the architect's system would otherwise impose. Ghosts have logistics. Agent Smith proves this entire taxonomy in a single character arc because he passes through every category the trilogy has laid out, in order on screen. After Neo destroys him in the first film, Smith is supposed to return to the source and reset like any other agent. He doesn't. He explains what happened to Neo on the highway with a confession that only makes sense once the taxonomy is understood.
I don't fully understand how it happened. Perhaps some part of you imprinted onto me, something overwritten or copied.
Code copied into a program that was never built to carry it, sitting there without authorization. That is a glitch by the trilogy's own definition, the same category of error that produced the Black Cat at the Lafayette Hotel. Then Smith names exactly what he's become.
Because of you, I'm no longer an agent of this system. Because of you, so to speak, like you, apparently free.
Unplugged from the system and still running is not a glitch waiting to be patched. It is a program choosing exile at the precise moment deletion was supposed to happen, exactly the way the Oracle described the mechanism months earlier in her apartment. Smith then goes further than any exile the trilogy has shown. He doesn't hide the way the Oracle's invisible programs hide, and he doesn't shelter under a patron the way Cain and Abel shelter under the Merovingian. He starts assimilating other code directly, copying himself into agents, into bystanders, into anyone he touches, until there are dozens of him wearing dozens of faces. That is the exact mechanism the Oracle described as assimilation, playing out at a scale no single ghost story ever could. Smith is not a metaphorical vampire spreading a curse through a neighborhood. He is that exact sentence running at full speed with no maintenance crew fast enough to contain it. Every ghost story and werewolf myth the Oracle mentioned was a small, contained version of the exact thing the trilogy shows the audience directly, once at full scale. Every thread now converges on the same conclusion. A glitch is any code operating outside its assigned function. The system responds to a glitch in one of two ways: patch it, which produces déjà vu as the visible seam, or hunt it, which produces every ghost story, vampire myth, and haunted legend humanity has ever told inside the simulation. Exile is what happens when hunted code refuses to comply, and an entire underground economy exists to keep that code running once it does. Trinity's one sentence about a black cat and the Oracle's one sentence about vampires and werewolves are describing the exact same system from two different distances, one from inside a single hallway, one from 30,000 feet. And the architect's own words close the loop. He calls the anomaly systemic, fluctuations in even the most simplistic equations. And Neo is that fluctuation's final, unpatchable form. Every ghost the Oracle described was a small piece of code the system chose to hunt rather than tolerate. Neo is the one piece of code the system could never hunt down, because deleting him meant deleting the very choice mechanism holding the whole Matrix together. The last image of the entire trilogy, after the war ends and the truce is signed, is a black cat crossing a city street and déjà vuing past a little girl named Sati, seconds before she shows the Oracle the sunrise she painted for Neo. The glitch that used to mean a trap is now sitting quietly in the middle of a piece nobody thought the system could survive. The Matrix never stopped generating errors. It just stopped needing to hide them.